Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode of Coffee with Coach. Hope you're all doing well. Got your mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So, going through the routine on my Monday morning, I had a good little conversation with my cousin back home in Saginaw on some, business stuff like that. Kind of got me pumped up right before I was got to working out. Actually, he said he got his workout in already because he gets up a little earlier than me, plus they're an hour ahead, that kind of thing. But anyways, I'm listening to some more Andy Frisella this morning, and he's talking about in his podcast. Someone asked him like, "What makes you feel alive?" and things like that, and he's talking about purpose. Like he's talking about like some people. He talks about millionaires because this guy's got a lot of money, right? He's the CEO, owner of First Form. Got private jets, got all kind of Lambos, all that kind of stuff. He's got he's doing really well for himself. And he's talking about how important it is to have like a purpose in your life, right? And for the individuals that don't have a purpose in life, they just kind of going through the motions, and maybe they do have a lot of money, maybe they don't, whatever. Those individuals are kind of lost, or they are lost, and they end up doing things to themselves. He was talking about, I don't want to get too heavy into that, but suicides, rich people that have money, and they kill themselves and that kind of thing. And he goes, why is that? He said, because most of the time it's lack of purpose, a lack of fulfillment. And a lot of that has to do with one of the things he says about making him feel alive is doing for others, serving people. And it just got me to thinking about some of the conversations that I've had with quite a few younger individuals that I've come across lately or met lately, or some that I've met or I've known for quite a while. I'm older, so I can speak on these things because when I was younger, no one really told me stuff like this, right? Like I heard things from my parents, but those are my parents. And a lot of times it's one ear and out the other with your parents. So to have a mentor, a coach, to have someone that I looked up to, speaking of all these things that I speak in these episodes, was not available. It just wasn't there. I didn't have, for whatever reason, those types of mentors around me. I had a good boxing coach back in the day, toughened me up, got some good lessons from that. But morning Sergio. But as far as like on a day-to-day basis, to have someone in your ear telling you these things, I just didn't have that kind of stuff. So when I hear stuff like this, I latch onto it really good, because it's things that I feed off of, like I've said before, and I want to share those. Like today, one of the purposes that I have in life, and I have many, is to make my parents and the mentors that I've had in the past like proud, like all the work. I want them to say, or maybe they don't tell me this, or we don't have these kind of conversations, but in their mind, I want them to be like, all that time and effort that I gave to that individual, as far as a mentor goes, or like a coach, right? I'll give you a couple examples. Like, my first jiu-jitsu coach, Orlando here in Texas, spent a lot of time with me, gave me a lot of great advice, a lot of good mentorship. And that's actually the ripple effect of where all these episodes and stuff like that are coming from. It opened my eyes to a lot of things. And so he's one of them, the coach now that I have, Coach Bruno, and, my students. And then, like I said, my parents. So there's like a lot of things. There's a lot of people that I care what they think about. There's a lot of people that I don't care what they think about me. It's whatever. But there's a lot of people that spent and put a lot of time and effort into me that I'm working, to make those individuals proud. Like, man, look, especially like my parents, right? Like, and this isn't for everyone, because some parents or some people just don't have good parents. It's just what it is. Someone got together and they had kids, and they didn't do really a good job of parenting those kids, or even took care of those kids. They're not even in their lives. But those individuals still have some type of mentors or coach that helped them along the way, because no one gets anywhere by themselves. Everyone at some point, if you're still alive and you got to this point in your life, someone helped you get here. So for those individuals, it would be, some other coach or mentor, someone that helped you out. But I do have both my parents. They're still alive. They're still married. And, they've been there for me since day one. They were young, teenagers, when they had me, that kind of thing. So, you hear these stories throughout your life of the things that they went through to provide for you, to provide for me, to get me and my brother and my sister where we're at today, and get them where they're at. And my parents are doing well. They're pretty well off. And that's what they want for us. I was always told by my parents, by my dad, like, the next generation should be better, and I take that to heart. I'm trying to do more for, my daughter, Danielle, like the things that I've done for her and where I've taken her around the world, and the things that I'm trying to give her, as far as like, not monetary things, but like things that I'm sharing on these episodes, life things that I'm learning as I go, to share with her, and then, hopefully she shares with other people. My students, yeah, I'm the coach, but at the same time, they're learning from me. I learn from them, but I compete a lot, because I want to make them proud. I want them to be like, man, that's my coach. Like, man, that's the guy I train under. That's where I, that's my mentor. That's my guy right there. And again, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. No one is. And I make mistakes just like everyone else, but at least I'm aware, and I'm conscious of the fact that I've had a lot of people help me along the way, and I can't ever pay them back with like money or anything like that, right? It's what I do in life, and then like what I do for other people, okay? And so that's the payback. So for like my parents, it's like my dad raised me to be independent. I was out of the house. I bought my first home at 22 years old. Great credit score already at 22 years old, because I didn't have to have a cosigner at 22. I had a good paying job at General Motors, and I had really good credit because he showed me how to get that credit. And I was able to buy a brand new home. It wasn't brand new, but it was new for me, right? It wasn't like a freshly built home. Brand new car. At that time, I had bought a brand new car right off the lot, right? It wasn't pre-owned or anything like that. Had a lot of nice things, but that was from having a parents like I had that taught me the things that they were teaching me, and I listened. There's a lot of things I didn't listen at, and you pay for those things for not listening. But for the most part, when it comes to that kind of thing, I listened, and I listened very well, and it paid off big dividends as I got older. And so doing the things that I'm doing, there's a purpose there. There's a mindset there of like, I'm trying to show my parents like what they did for me by not leaving me behind, and they take off and live their own life somewhere. They stuck by me at 16, 17 years old, and they're still there for me. The payback is to show them that I'm doing good, that I'm doing the things that they taught me to do, and that I'm also like helping other people along the way do those same things. Again, back to my coaches that I've had before, like, my coach Orlando, like I said, I never knew what affirmations were. He had a message of the week every week, and on this dry erase board when you walked into his academy. And most of the time, I was just sharing this story with my students a week or so ago. I would walk into the school and I would just ignore the message. I just wanted to train. I didn't really care about any messages. I just wanted to train jiu-jitsu. Couldn't wait all day to get to the mats. But one day, there was something going on in my life. I don't remember what it was, but the message on the week hit me. It related right to exactly what I was going through in life. And I think I've shared this before a couple times, but anyways, I walked past the message, and then I came back and I read it again, and it just resonated with me. I was like, man, that's exactly what I'm going through. And it helped. I started digging into these, affirmation things, these positive thought things and stuff like that. And there's a whole nother world out there of these things out there. And I'm like, dude, where's this stuff been at? So all these years I've been working on these things, and then that's where these episodes come from. It's where that's why I talk the way I talk. It's why I go hard as I do with it, because it works, it helps, and everyone should have these things around them, people around them that are talking the right way, doing the right things, pushing the boundaries to go further, to see what else is out there, and fulfilling purposes. Again, I have so many of them, and one of them is showing my parents that, like I said, the things that they went through to stay by my side and raise me is something that I'm like trying to show them as a thank you by doing good things, and showing them that it was worth it. It was worth all the trouble and the struggle and all the stuff that they went through to have me, right? And then again, my coaches, and then like I said, Coach Bruno. It's a little different. It's not like affirmations or positive thinking, stuff like that. It's one of the reasons why I got with Coach Bruno was like competitiveness, like winning. And that's what he does. That's what his mindset is. That's what my mindset is. That's why it connects. That's why I went there and connected with him. So what do I do to try to as a purpose? One of my purposes is like, I want to go show my coach, like, I'm a 4th degree black belt under him, and I rep that flag, and I want to go out there and win to show them like I'm worthy of it, for one, and that I can try to make them proud to raise the banner up like that, right? And then getting back to my students, showing people that I coach, that I mentor, that I'm still out there getting after it, and showing them that what's possible, what can be done, stuff like that. So it's something that I think if more people were aware of and trying to think about, their life would go into a much better direction, because having these kind of purposes of trying to make someone proud, you're winning along the way. You're trying to do things in ways that you're starting to win more. But if you're not conscious of these things and you're not trying to make your parents proud, or if, like I said, if you didn't have good parents, because again, some people just don't. And I can say that from facts, because I talk to certain people. I talk to a lot of people, and I get to hear their stories, and the fact that they just didn't really have good parents to mentor them. So they've had other mentors and coaches. So then you make those people proud, and you just show people that the time and effort that they gave you was worth it. And I'm in that position now where, like, I give a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of information. The amount of messages that I get on my phone or on late hours or whatever is unreal. I get messages all the time from my students, or sometimes just from random people. I'll come home from practice and my phone will go off, and it'll be some person that I met a year ago. Actually, that just happened, and asking me for some information or some guidance on some things because of something I've said or something that they heard at my academy, because of the things that I play while we're training. And it clicks, and I'm giving that information. So I'm always looking, I'm always providing information, pouring into other people. How do those people pay me back? By winning. Okay, not winning tournaments. I mean, if that's what you asked me for, and how to win in tournaments, and you win, then like you pay me back that way, right? But if you're asking me about like other things, about life lessons, how to win in life, how do you pay people back like that? It's by winning in life, doing those small incremental things that's going to put you in the direction to not only that you win, but your family and the people around you win. Because there's just no doubt about it. If you're losing and you're not doing the right things, the people around you are suffering. It's just what it is. It's a trickle-down effect. If you're winning and you're doing good things, the people around you see that. They want some of that. They want to do things. You inspire them to do other things. They start winning, and that stuff starts to grow. So again, it for me, it starts with a lot of things, because I think, but primarily I would say like financially. A lot of people struggle and make their lives a lot harder than what it should be. because the finances just aren't in order. You know, when I talk to people and they say, and I ask them like what their credit score is, and they say it's okay, or it's good, you know, and it's not great. It's not on that high level. It should be. Why isn't it there? Why isn't your health at a high level? You know, why aren't you taking care of yourself better? Why aren't you looking better? Why aren't you feeling better? Why aren't you just doing all the things that you know you should be doing, you're just not doing? And if you do all these things, you raise your credit score up, you get your finances in order, you're no longer struggling, you're no longer paycheck to paycheck, your families is no longer struggling because you're struggling with money. Your health is really good, and you're showing other people that this is what it's supposed to be like, and all these other things around you are winning, then life is really good. Life is great. You know, life is really, really good when you just do simple things like that. And it doesn't even cost you money. It just costs you like to do the right things, treat people really good, treat them with respect, help them out. It does take a lot of your time because, like I said, I do take a lot of my time out of my day to help other people off hours. Like when I go to the school, like I'm getting ready to head up there right now, and someone asks me a question on the mat, that's part of what like I'm going there to do. But when I come home and it's an off hour and I'm not teaching class and my phone's blowing up from 3-4 different messages, or I get a phone call, hey coach, I need some help with this or that or whatever, or can you help me help my child with whatever it is that that parent needs help with. You know, it doesn't cost me anything. It's just a matter of my time. So think about that, guys. Think about that. What is it? It just got my wheels turning a little bit about about your purpose. Like people without purpose. There's so many ways to have a purpose in life. And I just gave a couple great examples of those, right? To push you in the direction of winning and doing and having like a better life. And it helps other people too. And so again, to me, that's one of the reasons why I get up every day and do the things that I do. It's definitely gonna go back to the core thing with my parents, like knowing the things that they went through to get me where I was at. I should be doing better. Now again, when I was a teenager, man, not so good, right? Like me and my dad didn't even really have a good relationship as a teenager because the things that I was going through in high school, he didn't know about that. Like he wasn't around those kind of things. He wasn't in that environment, that atmosphere. The city that we grew up in became that afterwards, right? And at 17 years old, all he knew was, hey, I got to raise this kid. You know, I have a kid and I got to raise him and I got to provide for him. I got to get a job and I got to put food on the table. And so in high school, we didn't really have a really good relationship. It wasn't until after. Well, obviously now everyone that does know, my dad works for me. He retired from GM. He's up at the school. You know, we spend a lot of time together. And it's good. It's good. Do we argue sometimes? Maybe a little bit, but nothing like it used to be. You know, I'm older. I understand things a lot better. And so this is just for anyone because I deal with a lot of people that are in their 20s, maybe early 30s, where maybe the direction isn't so good or isn't going where it should be or it's not where it should be. Have a purpose. Use your parents as a purpose. Use a coach of that you've had in the past. If you made it this far in life, someone helped you get here. No one can say, I did it all by myself. That's BS. That's a lie. You know, someone gave you advice or some type of tips or some type of help of some sort to get you this far. And it's your job to go even further and show them that the time and effort that that they gave you was well worth it. All right, guys, got to go. It's time for me to get this sweat in. We'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you. Have a great day and week.